written by Radhika Sukraj of July 7, 2015. And you see, this is it. All these things are public knowledge to everyone except the police and those enforcing the laws. So in this one, it says liquid cash luring casino owners to Trinidad and Tobago. Liquid cash. And this talks about a large amount of liquid cash floating in the economy is luring businessmen from Eastern Europe. Not just the Chinese, you know. Not just the Chinese. From Eastern Europe to set up private members clubs in Trinidad and Tobago. Many believe poor enforcement of regulatory controls within the gaming industry has caused the Eastern European casino chain to spread its operations. So they're all coming here because there are no regulations. And they're doing what they want in this country to our detriment. Now, Mr. Deputy Speaker, in such a lucrative and profitable business venture, and a culture that I can show you now, and you agree with me, embraces gambling by so many as a way of life, it is not surprising that illegal gambling has taken an official, seemingly official foothold in our country. So Deputy Speaker, the police are going to certain places and taking 406,000, 300,000 on certain nights. Did the police ever ask where that money is coming from? Did the police ever wonder to question whether that is part of the illegal playway that is taking place in this country, Mr. Deputy Speaker? And that the police are actually, they know who are these people, and they know where to go and get that money when that money is set up there, Mr. Speaker. I congratulate the police service for moving quickly to arrest at least one person. But let's hope they arrest all of them involved in that ring. It doesn't give anybody comfort in this country to hear the Commissioner of Police said that 150 policemen in this country are suspended for illegal activity in the country. It doesn't give you comfort. Whom do you trust? Whom do you trust? The Minister of National Security, as a very distinguished former member of the defense force in this country, would say that soldiers are people who could be trusted, but we also saw recently of 2 soldiers who were early morning were held with arms and ammunition along the highway. So who you can trust? Who can you trust? Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, I think I've made a strong case for regulation. I made a strong case for regulation, but you know, there was a prime minister in this country who was against casinos, you know, at one time. Maybe he knew why he was against casinos, inspired as he was probably by his religious and spiritual convictions. But at the end of the day, it is a matter of personal choice. But at the same time, the personal choices of one group must not bring harm to others. It must not. And in achieving this balance of rights, while protecting the vulnerable, and that vulnerable includes those who work in these casinos. People who work in casinos could be highly exploited, you know. They could be used as frontmen and frontwomen. And when the crunch comes, they are thrown to the wolves. So legislation must protect even those who work in these institutions. They make points, and the big guys get away. So you never know who the big fish is. Yeah, exactly. And you must incorporate these things in the legislation to protect. You know, Mr. Deputy Speaker, from a religious point of view, in a sense, all religions are against gambling. No? Alright, Hinduism is not against gambling? It's a matter of personal choice, personal morality. But Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, it is my view that all religions are against activities which contribute to the demise of human beings. And all religions uphold morality, ethical behavior, and spiritual values in their own way. It is impossible to stop gambling, that's my point. But it is possible to regulate and control it. And like any legislation presented here in Parliament, this bill has a number of good clauses. And the clauses have good intentions. But some of the clauses have far-reaching consequences, and I think this is where the industry is raising a hue and a cry. And some of the fines in the legislation seem to be disproportionate, very, very high, 25 million, 5 million, and what have you. And we need to sit down and discuss it. Because that's why I said at the beginning what it is we want to achieve with this legislation. The regulations are very important. I would hate to see us come back to this Parliament to pass this legislation without having the regulations in place. I think it's extremely important that we have the regulations in place in order to deal with this legislation. And I am also happy to see, as reported in the media, and it's noteworthy to me that those involved in the industry are not against regulation. And that is something important. So that the people in the industry are not resisting. They're saying, okay, let's have regulation of the industry. They want that because they know why that is important. They have many good benefits for they themselves.
Honorable member, your speaking time has expired. You care to avail yourself of the additional?
Yes.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy to see that they want regulation because they understand the value and importance of regulation. Mr. Deputy Speaker, you know, when you talk about this gambling bill, you have to talk about youth. You have to talk about the future. You have to talk about children. Mr. Deputy Speaker, on the last occasion I spoke to this Parliament, I hope that the Minister of Finance and the media would have paid more attention to what I was saying. Right? They would pay more attention. They're not even interested in a politician saying drive a dagger in the hearts of USP people and kill them dead ones Shut up, Speaker. But Mr. Deputy Speaker, I came to this Parliament and I showed, in reference to the same 4,000 restaurants that the member for Diego Martin Northeast was saying, where there are these machines. But simply by under a liquor license, Mr. AG, you can get, I believe, up to 8 or 10 machines. 10 machines. But you know what is happening? They pay $3,000 for each one of those machines. But that's not where the problem is. That's a problem. Because in those restaurants, I have seen with my own eyes, while parents are waiting for their children, for food, or want to collect food, children are going and playing in those machines. And you don't want that for your child. Remember for San Fernando West, you don't want that. You wouldn't want that for anybody's children, because that's part of the addictive process. Yes. But what happens in those restaurants, and I'm saying here today, that while the members clubs are paying $60,000 for a roulette machine, in those very restaurants, you have 10 seats around a machine in which something is spinning in the middle, a roulette machine, and they are paying $3,000 for that because they are found a way to beat the law. $57,000 they are saving on their license fees because they are beating the law under the liquor license. That is wrong. That is wrong. Because if you have 249 private members club in the country, and I just estimate you have 2 machines each in a private members club, that's 500 machines, and you multiply that by 60,000, you have approximately $30 million in revenue. But if you have 4,000 places, and you have 1,000 of them with machines, you are losing money in terms of what should be collected as revenue in this country. But the biggest point for me is in those regulations, restaurants and bars and so on, children are now gambling away. Remember Uncle Maloney, I have seen children leaving school, going home in the evening, walking down, and they will slip into these places, and they will go and gamble. We cannot have a society like this. We cannot continue to have a society like this. Right? Something has to be done. We cannot inspire the future to be one of decent opportunities for the realization of the potential of young people. If we forge a society in which people are led to believe that through illicit activities they can become rich and they can become powerful, we cannot do that. This cannot be the way forward in a world where the urge to be materially significant or rich generally knows no moral boundaries. If we do, then those entrusted with legislative leadership must intervene alongside those entrusted with spiritual influence and moral regeneration, like the teachers, the parents, the fathers and mothers, the youth leaders, the priests, the imams, and the pundits, to make an intervention. Mr. Deputy Speaker, they must make an intervention. You know, Mr. Deputy Speaker, people criticized us on the other side for giving $25,000 to religious organizations at Christmas or Eid or Diwali. But little did they realize that that $25,000 wasn't for fetting. It was because we recognize the role of religious institutions in this country in moral regeneration. There are things that you can do as a government and things you cannot do as a government. And you must recognize early in life, when you're in a government, that you work in partnership with the NGOs and the CBOs, and in this country in particular with the religious organizations. And this year they didn't get anything. You have to make choices in how you distribute your resources, financial resources. And the churches need money in order to do the job that they have to do. Mr. Prime Minister, as I speak, I want to make a special appeal to you, Mr. Prime Minister. In my constituency, there's a place called the Whitehall Empowerment Center, and I wrote to you about it. 120 children and 200 adults were receiving all kinds of classes, led by a program in which they were volunteers, people from PhDs down, and it was being managed by Pastor Winston Mansing. And because the URP wanted to spite me,